Hi, welcome to the cave. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
You are the second guest of this week, Ginny Georgia. I just had Chelsea on a few days ago.
Oh, I love Chelsea.
So yeah, exciting times for you. I said the listeners and viewers attending this interview, they'll see you on season two, which just returned about a week ago. Also, I was just telling Chelsea the other day too, number one on Netflix right now.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Exciting times. So season one, let's jump right. Actually, you know what? We don't want to jump into the season just yet. I want to talk a little about your career and everything. Like, what made you get into the entertainment industry? Because this is one of your biggest projects you've done so far, from what I saw.
Yeah, this is kind of like the main one. I don't really know what made me want to start acting, but I was lucky enough when I was in high school, I was working for this family that lived in my neighborhood, and the dad was an actor and like writer, producer. And I'd mentioned to him that I had wanted to try acting. And so he sort of like took me under his wing
Oh wow.
and introduced me to my agent and got me started. And then I went to theater school. And while I was there, I booked season one of Ginny and Georgia. And it sort of just kept going from there.
Mm. Was the goal always like TV, or was it just theater at first? And you're just like, oh, let me just give this a shot and see what happens.
It was definitely started out as me falling in love with theater, and I still love theater very much, and it has a very special place in my heart. But uh, it's the TV stuff is really, really fun as well in
Mm.
a lot of unexpected ways, and so I'm kind of trying to do everything. I hope that I get to keep doing everything.
Yeah. What's the goal, you think?
Oh my God. There are so many goals. I just want to work on projects that uh, are inspiring or that I get to work with amazing people like on Ginny and Georgia. I
Mm.
love the cast, I love the crew, and I love just going to work every day and being there. But yeah, I hope that I can keep
Keep
building
going.
a exciting career with a like very diverse resume.
Mm. I've had guests on before where they've done theater, they've done the TV and film also. One of the questions I like to ask them is like, what's the biggest challenge transitioning from theater into TV, you think?
They're very different and they're both like so fulfilling and exhausting in very different ways. I think a few months ago, or last month, I did a play in Montreal and I would get home from rehearsal every day and just like go to bed at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And I forgot how physically exhausting it is because there's a lot less downtime in your day on stage, but shooting a show can like encompass your life a lot more. Um, but they're both so exciting. I think
Yeah.
certain stories are meant to be films, certain stories are meant to be plays, and it all
Do,
just feels great.
do you get more nervous being on stage in theater or on set, you think, TV?
I think I get more nervous on set because it is newer to me, but I'm figuring it out.
Yeah. Plus, I think it's easier if you forget a line or something in TV, you can redo this. You could redo the scene, but on stage, on the theater, if you mess up a line, everything, hopefully your partner, whoever's in the scene with you, can help you pick up to the next.
Totally. Yeah, that's half the fun though. You really have to be like on top of your shit or
Yeah.
uh
That's
yeah, keep you on
amazing.
your toes.
Keep you on your toes. That's right. Um, in your TV work and everything, like, or even just film too, like, is there anybody you look up to, you try to study under them, like watch their stuff just to make your craft better?
Oh my God, there are so many people. I really love having mentors and
Okay.
I love being a student and learning things. And so I have so many amazing people that I look up to. Someone who I've been pestering with a lot of questions recently is Martha Burns, who's a brilliant, wonderful Canadian actor, and I think she's spectacular. Someone who I don't know personally, who I think is just a phenomenal actress, is Rachel Sennett. She was in Shiva Baby and Bodies, 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 and I think she's just brilliant, has a fantastic career and is so talented, and she can like do it all. It's amazing.
It's awesome. I was told to ask you, what are you binging these days? When you're not working everything, what are you watching?
That's a really good question. I just finished Bad Sisters.
Okay.
It's an Irish show. It's on Apple TV, I think, and it is so good. And like the women in that show just ate it all up this season. They were really, really phenomenal.
What's next on your list to start?
I have no idea. I need recommendations. I feel like so overwhelmed and inundated with content.
That's right. That's right.
What are you
See,
binging?
actually, I've been watching a few little things. I just finished Tulsa Kings the other night with Sylvester Stallone, and then we just restarted season 2 of Mayor of Kingstown last night.
All right.
So if you like a little action, those are the way to go on those shows. You'll like them. I think you'll
Okay.
enjoy them.
Oh yeah.
So but yeah, Ginny Georgia season 2 just premiered about a week and a half ago and everything. Season 1 ended with cliffhangers, drama, and everything. Season 2 doesn't disappoint either. As soon as you jump right in, everything just picks right up. And I had the opportunity to watch it. Like I said, a few episodes. What are you like hoping when the viewers tune in for the first time to watch the second season? What are you hoping to get out of it?
Oh gosh. I hope there's that everyone like responds to the show as much as they did the first time around. I think the second season really the show found its voice, and I loved the first season. I loved the second season even more. I think we get to dive more deeply into all of these friendships, and I think the thing that I love seeing the most is how everyone's responding to the representations of mental health issues in the show, because we were establishing so many things the first time around. This time we really got to sit in everything that we were grappling with. And there have been some really beautiful responses to how all of these issues are being portrayed in the show. I think it's really resonating with a lot of people, which is lovely to see.
And it's the same, like I said, like I mentioned also, number one on Netflix. There's a big fan base on the show. It couldn't wait for season 2 to return.
I know the day it came out, I was already getting messages that were like, when is season 3? And I was like, I don't know. Soon, I hope.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it also feels like when season 1 ended, we had a big gap between season 2 return. So people were anxious and waiting and waiting and waiting.
Yeah, and I'm glad they stuck around. I'm glad they waited for us to come back.
Yeah.
I hope it was what people wanted to see.
Yeah. And I was reading articles and everything. I also read that when you guys first filmed the first season, it was all the COVID protocols and everything, and you guys were spaced out, everything. How different was it getting back on set for the second season?
Season 1 we actually wrapped in December of 2019, right before everything shut down. So we were able to have a very normal shooting time. But season 2, we were filming during the pandemic, and there was a lot of COVID restrictions in place. But I think we were able to dodge a lot of bad virusy times. It was
Right.
yeah, the protocols worked.
And also, like when you guys first got back on set, did it feel like you guys didn't miss a beat with each other getting back on set to work?
Yeah, totally. We all like each other quite a bit. So it's always fun to go to work and hang out with all your friends and pretend like you're hanging out with your friends. It's great.
So we see you as Samantha in the second season, first season, second season, of course. What drew you to the role, and how do you describe this character?
Oh my goodness. Well, what drew me to the role originally was the writing. I think our writing team is very funny, and the scenes that that I had auditioned with weren't the scenes that I had auditioned with didn't end up in the final version of the show as they were originally, but yeah, I had so much fun at that audition, and then I sort of forgot about it and went about my business. And uh, it was my first big job, so I was very just happy to have a job, and I'm
Right.
lucky that it was this one. I don't know. I think Samantha, we don't really get to see very much of her, and she's got some issues. She's really doesn't fit in very well with
She doesn't play well.
group. No, and I think she tries so hard and maybe too hard, and it comes out in all the wrong ways. But hopefully next time we'll get to a little more of a peek into her life and why she is the way she is, and hopefully someone will, check her, put her in her place, and she can sort of come to the table with a little more love and
Mm.
maybe a little less vitriol.
Is it me, or she tries like really hard also try to become part of that band group that they have?
Oh, that's all she wants to do. I think she was really hoping that the drama would remain and that she could sort of find her way in there, but no such
Yeah,
luck.
that's right. Well, what do you love about Samantha? And if there's something you could change about her, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, what do I love about her? I love her perseverance, I guess. I don't think it comes out in a good way. I think the way she presents herself is really, really horrible and really unkind, and if I could change something about her, I would maybe try to give her a little more empathy. But I don't think any of her cruelty comes from like, I think it all comes from a place of deep insecurity and
Mm.
self-hatred, and it's not about the other girls. So hopefully she'll get to learn that lesson.
Mm. So if you were in the writer's room right now, penciling up season 3, what would you want to see with Samantha?
Oh, well, I don't think I could do the writer's job at all. I think writing to me is the most impressive thing that anyone can do, and
Mm.
I find that so intimidating, and I admire them so much. I think something that we've discussed is they've planted a few little seeds in the last episode of we get to see an interaction between Samantha and Abby, where we have hints of maybe Samantha is going through similar issues to Abby, and I'm really curious to see where they're going to take that and see like how that unlikely relationship could play out.
Mm. Well, we mentioned the writers and everything too. I've noticed throughout this season too, even the first season too, how there's a lot of one-liners, one little put like zingers with each other. And
Yeah.
was there like when you're reading the script, are you just shaking your head? What are you doing? You're laughing. What's going through your head?
Oh my gosh, so many different things. Like these something about this show is that it doesn't really fit into one singular genre. It's
Yeah.
covers so many bases, and so when I'm reading the script, I'm sitting there and I'm laughing and I'm like trying to figure out how it's all going to play out, and then we get to set or I watch the show and I'm like, "Oh, this is so much better than it was in my head." I spend most of my time sitting there being like, "What? How are they going to do this? What is this going to look like?" And everyone's so talented and wonderful. It all comes together in the best
If
way.
if we see a season 3, who do you like from the cast that you've worked with so far? Is there anybody you ever had a lot of scenes with? Maybe you'll have a bigger story. You mentioned Abby for maybe season
Mhm.
3, but is there anybody else that you kind of hope to work with?
My favorite person to be on set with is Becky, who plays Padma. I think she's so wonderful and so talented, and we are very good friends off of the show as well. Uh, and we only had 2 days on set together
Uh,
this season, and so I hope that she gets to be more immersified into the friend group because
mm.
I love seeing her beautiful face.
So after season 2 premiere now, friends, family, fans DMing you everything. What's been the reaction for this season?
Oh, everyone's so sweet. Everyone's so lovely. I mean, I think my favorite thing is that everyone hates Samantha because of course they do.
Right.
Um, but so far everyone's been very sweet to try and protect my feelings, where they're like, "We hate Samantha. She's the worst, but you're great. Don't be offended. We love you."
Hmm.
And I think it's so sweet, so funny. Yeah, but
So
everyone's been loving the show.
that's great. Now, has there been any word on season 3? Have you heard any rumblings, any news?
Your guess is as good as mine, but if it's all based on views, it's all based on
Right.
the audience. So if everyone keeps watching, hopefully we'll get another one.
So now, what's next for you, Romy? You got any other projects you're going to work on that you're allowed to tell us about?
I have a few projects that I'm working on that I am not allowed to talk about just yet, but up next very soon, this very wonderful show that I got to play a small role on, called Little Bird, is coming out, and it is a very, very special, wonderful show about this very gruesome part of Canadian history called the 60s Scoop that I don't think a lot of people outside of Canada know very much about, and
Mm.
it's very beautifully made by some amazing, amazing women. And so I would encourage everybody to look into the 60s Scoop and keep an eye out for Little Bird, because it's
That's
gonna be
awesome.
good. It's gonna be
That's
great.
great. So now lastly, now to keep up with you and your projects and everything, how can they find you on social media, the viewers and listeners?
I'm Romi_Shraiter on Instagram and Twitter, and that's it.
All right. Romy, this was great. Thank you for giving me a few minutes today. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was so fun.